Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre, and last time we took out our rivals, the Dissidents. They gave us a tough time the first go-round, but we managed to pull it off, and now, I believe, if I remember correctly, we're set to have a face-off against Kamitha's sister. What's up with Ruki here? As you approach Ruki, you sense none of his usual anxious energy. I'm free. Then he rushes up to you. A return to form. I know I'm not. I'm stuck down here with all the rest of you. It's just like I finally got to set aside this giant bag of rocks I've been carrying around. You know what I mean? I wanted to say thanks, chum. For giving me a hand. The little situation between myself and Barker. I don't think I would have had it in me to stand up to him unless I knew you and the others had my back. Now at least old Mama Greentail won't get any trouble from him on the other side. She's still waiting for her Rookie boy to come home, but at least she won't be reading you won't be getting hassled by a bunch of nasty curs just because I struck a lousy deal. So yeah, chump. You ever need something? I owe you one. And then some. Hers own. He prances out of the wagon, a newfound lightness in his step. Ruki gained +2 hope permanently. Ooh, very nice. Permanent boost. We don't see those too often. And we sort of know of several other characters that have these vendettas or other little subplots that are going on in their lives, and so I wonder if there's potential to get such bonuses across the board for each character if we can resolve those conflicts. We'll have to see. We have new stuff in the Book of Rites. Let's give it a look. Info about the Dissidents, ones that we just beat. In the words of Haoub the Swallow, the Accursed, I myself, Haoub, did form the Dissidents, under this simple tenet. Those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, some of them showed, at first, reluctance to allow an imp, and one accursed, to designate one of the 9 triumvirates. But Muir, the horned one, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time, they came to understand, for I remained, as ever, at their side, a living bit of proof, their absurdity. The Dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as are those against whom they rebel. Okay. It's interesting because there are a bunch of curs, those dog-like species, whereas the person that founded the group is actually an imp. So there's not a perfect parallel there, which I think is not necessarily the case with the other groups. I think generally speaking, there's a connection between the scribe that's affiliated with the group and the group that, or the makeup of the actual group. So I'm curious to see how this change is going forward, because the reason why we went up against the Dissidents that time around was because they were at the top of the table here, which means they're in line to face us for the right for freedom. Liberation right, I should say. But that may not have actually made a difference. I'm not entirely sure the way that works. Oh, and I feel like 31% or 30 before. I don't know. But anyways, we're going up against the Essence now, I believe, if I remember correctly, and they're, next in line. So, if by beating them we can knock them down a peg, then great. But otherwise, I'm not sure how direct of an influence we can actually have on these standings. We'll have to see. Alright, let's get on the road, continue our journey. See where we're headed next. As, of course, we get ready to take off. And... oh, down here. I was going to say, I have no recollection of which direction we're supposed to go in. Bridge of Gold. Oh, that's where we were, wasn't it? Oh, was it right next door? Northern route to the Ridge of Gold goes through a small exile encampment. Headwind spawns a convenient landing here, where you should be able to pursue your vocations. Okay, vocations are helpful. Not amazing, but that's a decent option. Versus over here, the southern route to the Ridge of Gold goes through a humid area pocked with hot springs. Tay senses the presence of the 8 scribes along this route. I'd say this, assuming this is correct, that we would have time for vocations here. That's a solid option. This is a little bit more of a wild card where I'm not sure. The presence of the 8 scribes could mean something great, or it could mean something not so great. Let's give it a shot. You make a successful landing in Downside Prairie, near the southern edge of the Downside. Memories of having first met Hedwyn, Jodariel, and Ruki come flooding back. You now should have some time in the vicinity before continuing onward through the Ridge of Gold by land. Yonder crystal seeks Tizo. Ah, okay. We have another page in the Book of Rites. Downside Prairie. In the words of Molten Millie, the downside is connected to our realm via a single artery, the river named for our prestigious sap colleague, Blue Scloria. That river gushes into seeming nothingness. That seeming nothingness turns out, of course, to be the downside. Its existence undermines thousands of years of thought about the composition of our world. Downside southern edge we call the Sandfold. It is a desecrated wasteland, speaking well to this land's lack of hospitality. Here, the strength of many who survive the river journey finally fails. If only they could clamber further north, where lives the verdant Downside Prairie, a better place to perish. Either way, your chances are not good. What is this? Downside Clinger. Yields fruit from time to time, though only if one says the magic word. Hocus Pocus. Hey! Apparently that was the right word. I'm actually curious what that is. Can we see it in here? Gilman's biography is updated. I mean, this is pretty old, I think, but we got this a while ago where we see what is new. We know that he had no crime. In fact, he survived the siege of Spiral Sanctum, though technically did no wrong. As mercy guides our hand, we spare your lives, but rid ourselves of you. Sentencing ceremony. Its motive not applicable. Records state he volunteered for exile after the shameful outcome of the battle was right. It's been down here for 3 years. It is a life sentence still. Even though he volunteered, it's a life sentence. Interesting. That's pretty harsh. I mean, you would think almost if he's the one who chose to get exiled, that it'd kind of be up to him how long he wanted to leave. But I guess they still kicked him out. It's still life sentence. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everyone has a life sentence, come to think of it, unless you, of course, win your liberation. But some withstand the downside for no longer than a day or two, while others last for many, many years. I think in the grand scheme of things, relative to other members of our party, 3 years is still quite short. So I don't think he has as much of a history in the downside as the others. He was a knight-errant of the Sea Dominion who sought glory in the Commonwealth, where he became a frontline fighter in the never-ending war against the Harpies. In this, he fared much better than most of his kind, until the day of the disastrous siege of the Spiral Sanctum, where his entire regiment was destroyed in an ambush. As one of the sole survivors of this incident, Sir Gilman accepted full responsibility for the outcome, and volunteered to go into exile as penance for his failure. It's harsh. Alright, I don't think we have any other updates there, but we do have Tizo's trial. Once more, you have returned to me. What is it, reader? We can ask her what's on her mind as well. Ah, my best friend in all the world. Come to visit me again. I'm not sure if that's sarcasm. I feel like that's sarcasm. She's awfully sarcastic, I'm pretty sure. Does it make you uncomfortable, perhaps, that I should call you thus? Perhaps you think that you do not yet know me very well, but I know you just fine. Maybe it's not sarcasm. You reveal a great deal to me when you come visit me like this. You're not the only one who can sense things in others, you know. We have talked to her a lot. She laughs to herself. One learns to read a bit when forced to suddenly appear within a book for 837 years or so, especially if one is wont to pry a little. You understand, for it gets rather boring here. I know all about you. Common wanderer who vowed to help his friends be free again, only to end up spending all his time talking to an apparition stuck in a stone. Oh, I know about your loves, or lack thereof, about your favorite pastime, certain habits you may be somewhat loath to admit. Fear not, of course. I use this special knowledge only as a means to entertain myself, I think. And if you don't like it, why, keep your distance, like so many of your predecessors. As for the other Beyonders, they are as wraiths to me, as I must seem to all those idiots with whom you consort. I cannot confide as easily in my own kind as I am able to confide in you. Beyonders are the other people in this spectral triumvirate with her, who were banished for eternity and trapped within the rites. But I suppose I have said too much. Thank you, as ever, for the visit. You have given me a lot to think about, more than you know. She laughs again, softly. And we're getting on her good side. Talking to her a fair bit. And we have the ability to run that scribe trial. Then who exactly do you have in mind? We have Tizo in mind, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the only one at the moment who's remaining. In fact, wow, we don't have many left. We have Tizo. Sir Gilman has yet to have his. Ametha's had hers. We just have 2 left. Oh, I did not really pick a specific talisman there. I mean, he has the quickness talisman, which I suppose should be fine. You ask Sandra to administer one of the special trials for Tizo. I dare think I remember something of that in. It certainly stood out from his ilk, although that really is not saying much. Well, let us bring him forward. Yeah, Tizo is quite old from the looks of things. He goes way back and has a history with some of the oldest characters who have been in the downside for seemingly forever. Tizo soon appears in heat of the summons. Tizo seems to be prepared for whatever lies ahead. Imps such as Tizo can banish several adversaries at once with their aura implosion, while returning very soon after. I don't remember him being able to return all that quickly. He can definitely take out multiple people, though. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Imp. You answer to me here. Rehak! Tizo indicates his understanding and is prepared to begin Sandra's trial. You know the formalities, of course, does he? Has he done this before? He very well could have. He's been here long enough. This may not be his first go-round. Show me, then, what you have learned thus far about the rites. Here, in this trial, it shall be just you, my Beyonders, and your lovely reader. Let us see how you fare. Oh, I forgot that I don't have the same type of attack as everyone else. I just explode in a circle. I don't have a straightforward attack. I do have that, though. What? You didn't get it? Killed by that? That didn't banish you? I'm very confused. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, that wasn't good either. We may need to adjust this strategy. Again, no, this is not working. I think we need to come up with a new plan. Maybe not sprint straight ahead. What? Oh, you're jumping over me. That's what you're doing. Okay, well, we just lost. Terribly. Like, terribly. Tizo is frustrated at having failed Sandra's challenge. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty horrendous performance. My bad. Come now, Imp. This test is not meant to be easy, even for the likes of you. I would tell you not to waste more of my time, but then my time is there for you to waste. So try again, now or whenever you so choose. Well, hold on. Let's give it a minute to think about what we could do differently. So generally speaking, my strategy was sprint straight for the middle and either try to take the orb or try to take out the enemy who was taking the orb before us, because the enemy was faster than us, so he could get there before we could. And I kind of anticipated that most of those rounds. And that's why I started to use our attack. However, our attack holds us in place and only goes in a circle around us. And so, while we're doing that, our opponents, who have better range on their attack, could hit us from afar and then just walk in on a free score. So, it's tricky. I think we definitely should not be sprinting straight forward, because it seems like regardless of whether we try to charge for it or not, we're still not going to be successful. I think the key here is going to be to jump more. So we basically did none of that. And he is capable of doing some hops. Equipping different talismans or gaining more enlightenments can give you an edge in Sandra's scribe trials. That too could potentially wait it out a little bit. Try to get Tizo more powerful. And then give it a shot. Okay, so I'm not going straight forward. He jumped. I should have been prepared to jump instead of just going straight into our attack. Oh, what? He jumped again. I really did not think he jumped that time. I thought I juked him out a little bit. Alright, we did at least get to trade 1 for 1 there, but they still scored. This is not looking good. I'm really thinking we need to find a new strategy with Tizo here. Okay, I did remember to jump that time. I did also explode, and therefore the remaining enemy could still take it. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Oh, and that's also a problem. Tried to jump. Nope. I exploded and then I tried to jump, so wrong order of operations there. I think we need to have some pretty significant rework to our strategy with Tizo here. Whether that mean a new talisman to go along with it, or just waiting to power him up more. I think it is really hard to work solo with him, because he is primarily, right? I mean, I don't want to say a support character, but he has a lot of interesting little skills that rely upon other teammates to fill in the gaps. Like, he explodes and takes out a bunch of enemies, sure, but then if it's only him, there's no one left to pick up the orb afterward and either protect or try to launch a counterattack. So that is hard to go solo with him. So I do think, sadly, we bow our heads on this one in defeat. We'll come back. We'll give it another shot on a future occasion when feeling a little more confident in our abilities with Tizo, and maybe once we've had a little more practice with him. Your vision returns. You did not prevail in Tizo's scribe trial. You could reattempt it now, or after he gains more enlightenment. I think we're gonna go with the latter. Out of curiosity, how far along is he? He's like halfway to his next rank. So, and I mean, if we look at talismans, infinite stamina, no, that would be useless. Potentially doing something like being able to return with a 30% chance. Oh, and this is just an item that we can sell at the slug market. Okay, I mean, that's the item that we got from clicking on that, this thing. So, I mean, it's better than nothing. Or, let's head out. Let's walk the 8 scribes' path. You and Tay wandered together for a while through the lonesome lands of Blooming Pool, sometimes in circles. What exactly she's looking for, she cannot explain. Eventually, however, she happens on something that never caught your notice. Look at this! Look at this, mister! The scribes! They walked this very path. I think they did. And they left this here, for us! The object she procures does seem to emanate with some sort of faith in ancient power. You received wisdom trace. You sensed something from it. What is this? We haven't seen it before. It's a consumable, grants an exile plus 1,000 enlightenment. Wow. So it gives an exile a ton of experience. In fact, that's enough to level up Tizo. Which, you know, maybe that's all we needed. I don't know. We can also talk to some people. We can talk to Tizo. You observe Tizo rummaging around with the Black Wagon as though in search of something. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. Hee! Tizo is glad to see that you're here. He was just reminiscing about old times. Oh, but just as quickly, he resumes his search. Ha! Tizo is looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. Rahoo! He is growing frustrated that the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the lone minstrel's approach. I'm afraid that it is gone, Tizo. I'm very sorry. Reader, it is nothing that ought to be cause for much concern. Merely that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. Squeak! It was just the spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? He squawks in approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? He confirms this as well. Then, please do not worry yourself about it anymore. It is a symbol of a distant past. Besides, Tizo skulks away, up in the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object that he seeks does not exist, reader. Tizo searches for it from a fleeting memory of his days with the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of the other tribe imps at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell, and the triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the detail. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadows of his past, somehow. Perhaps then he shall cease searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He is resilient, and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say that he was born. Begging your pardon, reader. The lone minstrel excuses himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. That sounds like that might be Tizo's little subplot that we're looking to resolve here, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at info on Tizo here. Oh no, that would be in the roster over there. The downside is connected to our realm via a single artery. No, we've read this. Oh. Or maybe not? It's still glowing. This looks different now, though. In the words of Molten Elite, years upon long years we spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspices of their mortality, which we ourselves cut short. In this we had no regrets, for we learned much, and so, we think, did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here, we encountered Soli and Mura, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands, and catalog our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake, and dealt us both with them. I feel like we might have read that before. Let's take a quick look in the common room at Tizo. His biography supposedly is new. It's an imp. Drive imp. We knew all this. Astral sign Torban. He was born on the 13th of 5th moon, suggesting he is steady and collected. Okay, not 100% sure that's totally accurate, but sure. One's astral sign often foretells of one's disposition, strengths, and idiosyncrasies. He was born in the downside and has not yet a chance to break Commonwealth law. Not yet had a chance to break Commonwealth law. It's an inevitability. You know, once he gets the chance, he'll do it. He just hasn't had that opportunity yet. And motive, though guiltless, he indicates he would commit the foulest crimes against Commonwealth cuisine. Okay. In the downside, one's past tends not to be subject for discussion. And years exiled, Tizo was born in the downside, though perhaps longs to live someplace else, and he's been here for a while, from what I can tell. There are lots of imps in the downside, but few, if any, like this one. In fact, he seems to be descended from the most famous imp of them all. Tizo is older than he appears, and drove the Black Wagon of the Nightwings for many years, learning much about the rites while traveling with the Triumvirate. But, when misfortune fell, he disappeared. He re-emerged years later, having become an integral part of Volfred's plan, and to serve as a liaison between Volfred and a certain band of exiles whom he entrusted. Okay. Let's head out. Continue our journey. We do have that ability to create 1,000, or earn 1,000 skill points, or experience points, I should say. And, I mean, theoretically, the sooner the better, right? The longer we can benefit from it. We use it immediately. So maybe we will do that. So let's see. Page revealed the Ridge of Gold, and something else too. We have a slug market. We don't have anyone to talk to. Let's take a look at our pages real quick. The Freedom Pact. In the words of Gold Golgothanian, we reached the land of an impending doom, faced another of its kind, for we knew we were trapped. Yet for each danger which we faced, for every failed ambush by Arch, we met with gentle souls and kindred spirits of the downside, who deserved more than to fade from memory within this land. It was then the stars themselves showed us the way, delineating a great voyage across the sea. Near broken we became. Then, at last, a moonlit vision. That of the rights. The rights! Thus, shall they say of us, the 8 scribes gave their freedom, so that we may yet have ours. I believe there was another page too. Describing this location, Ridge of Gold. Ridge of Gold, in the words of Luz Gloria. The serpent titan Gandrith turned to brittle stone not long after his death. Of that you may be certain. But what remains is a flat, elevated basin that stands us closer to the heavens. Upon the fallen Gandroth's hide, the stars themselves alight, and you shall know you stand on sacred ground. We set the metal sigils, lit the candle flames, and we emblazoned on the rock-like forms the sigil of our passage to and from this land. And then, the stars themselves. They did reply to us. They sang, shining bright, their voices loud and clear. We understood their cadence, knew how often to read. Okay, and now I think let's head back here real quick and see. Yeah, so we will be able to give the wisdom trace to someone here. I'm just curious who would benefit from it the most, because it looks like Edwin is going to rank up after this upcoming round, no matter what, in all likelihood. Ruki would rank up from 1,000 enlightenment. That would work for him. It would get Tay exactly to the next rank. It would get Tizo exactly to the next rank. And it looks like Sir Gilman may get it, regardless of what happens in this upcoming right. But I'm not as inclined to use it on him, because I think he's far enough away, or that he's, rather, the opposite. He's early enough in the process that he should still gain this level pretty quickly, and then once there, then we can think about pursuing more aggressively, experiencing him up. And Tamitha is, would not level, even if we, or rank up, even if we were to use it. So I think the answer then is either Ruki, Tay, or Tizo. Given what's happening with Tizo, I think it does make a lot of sense to use it on him, and that we are looking to get his scribe trial completed. Rafi! Tizo gives thanks to Haoub the Swallow for watching over and protecting him. So let's see what we can do, bearing in mind that ideally we're looking for something that makes him more effective when he's working by himself. For example, this looks really good if Banished Tizo drops an improved moon sign that boosts allies' speed and stamina. That doesn't really help him when he's working by himself. When saluting his adversaries, Tizo turns into a fast-moving howler or bat. That is something that we might want to consider doing in his trial. That's an interesting idea. or while fluttering or zipping, Tizo moves much faster than usual. That also sounds quite useful. Ooh. That's a tough one. So, I mean, he's only going to get one more after this, so if we choose this one, then that means we have to pick between these two. Would like to get this. Presumably these bottom ones here are generally considered the most powerful, and one would assume that you wouldn't want to pass those up. Doesn't seem like it has much benefit if we were to try to do the trials with Tizo. I mean, there are those items that we saw a while back that allow you to respec, get rid of the decisions that you've made with the skills and choose other things in their place. In which case, maybe it's worth trying to do that for Tizo at some point, that he can finish his trial. Otherwise, all these do look good. Let's go with this. It's straightforward. It's a little boring. You'll have to excuse me for that, but I think it is good in all situations. Whereas the other ones are more circumstantial. Oh, hey guys, look, I got something here I think which you maybe would like. He shows you several bottles of multicolored liquids of some sort. Sun serum, bag to a talisman pocket to activate, usable once. For the next rite grants +4 hope, +4 quickness, or +4 presence. It does seem useful. Yeah, they taste pretty good, I guess, and besides, they can give you just the little lift you need, you know what I mean? You get thirsty for them, don't even worry. I can get more soon. How much are they? 30, 33, 36? Alright, so this is the thing that I was referring to. Also, we have two coins right now. Sell this, and we'll have 8, which is basically equally useless. Have other things we can sell? Not much. We've been quite low on the coins as of late, apparently. Might be time to put the lucrative contract back on someone, just to see if we can scrounge up a few more coins so we can actually buy something. I mean, at the moment, we're just too broke. Must be our lucky day here, or I don't know what, Dad. I don't think we bought anything from you, so I don't know why it's your lucky day, but sure. Right. Guess that means we're commencing the rite. The afternoon is just beginning to give way to nightfall as you and your companions finish making preparations for the rite. Through all the ceremony, you realize Pamitha is nowhere to be found. The last anybody saw of her was shortly after the Black Wagon came to rest here at the Ridge of Gold. I mean, we're going up against her sister, so I would think this is either something that she really wants to participate in, or the complete opposite. But, oh, it seems like she wants to teach her sister a lesson or two. So she must really want to participate in this, right? She returns just as you are beginning to plan to search for her. Sorry to have worried you there, Rita, darling. Just getting a little antsy, is all. Had to go and spread my wings a bit, shake away the nerves. She's holding something back. Don't you get in my head. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, damn it. Damn you, Rita. Get out! Get out! Anyhow, it looks as if the show's about to start. I shall be in the field with the others. As Pamitha departs, you see she's right, as the stars above begin to shine. You know she's about to face her sister, Tamitha, once again. You accept that it is a very private matter between them. But presumably, she's gonna have a score that she still wants to settle. Oh, what are these? Look like little constellations there, perhaps, of the scribes. Something else catches your notice in the sky this time. Strange new stars, shimmering about the ones you recognize. The great titans have returned. Uh-oh. Colossal monsters that once roamed the downside. I remember hearing of them, and supposedly the scribes took care of them. But I don't think the scribes are around anymore, so that seems like that's trouble. Some of them, and merely in spirit, not in form. But those dark stars are a potential sign. Though they may light your way, beware the path which they illuminate. Henceforth, you may invite the influence of the Titan stars. Titan stars. Omens in the night sky, each representing one of the downside's mythical monstrosities. Use the Titan stars for a greater challenge. Interesting. Okay, so a way to spice things up a little bit if we feel like things are getting a little too easy for us. Slain or routed long ago, the Titans, the Greater Titans, are an indelible part of the legend of the 8 scribes. Look upon them without fear.
Behold the Titan stars.
And Andriga the Widow. At the start of this rite, your Pyre shall automatically suffer minus 30 damage. Note, call upon the Titan stars to rank up faster. Okay, so it's a way of increasing the challenge, but also increasing the rewards. We can interact to give this Titan star's effect. Star of the Blood Titan. Once vanquished by the Underking Ors, the Sea Dominion. Or we can go here. Limbless Azari Herazech. Your adversaries each shall have plus 8 hope, making them return sooner after banishment. That's a lot. Call upon the Titan stars to rank up faster. Interact to activate this Titan star. Star of the Root Titan. Once vanquished by the scribe Luce Glorian. Or we have this one. Yislach Astral Born. Your adversary shall be more cunning and much quicker to react. Star of the Star Titan, once sealed away by the scribe Molten Milik. I mean, so we don't have to pick any of them, I don't think. I am kind of curious as to how challenging, how much of a difference these challenges will make. If anything, I would lean towards this one. Feel most confident, or at least this one's the most straightforward, I feel. We just start with a disadvantage. Whereas here, our enemies come back much quicker, which given our playstyle, I think is a potential challenge. Pretty significant challenge. And then here, this one is the hardest to understand what it might play out as in actuality. Because sure, we say they're more cunning and quicker to react, but what does that really mean? Like, they're just smarter? I don't know. Let's give it a shot. See to the right. And this might come back to haunt us. We'll see. Activate the Titan star prior to the right. Let's make it more tricky.
Burning remnants of monstrosities felled by the scribes themselves. Dare you to stand against them in their fury?
I don't know.
Dark is the knowledge that you seek there, reader. Best focus on your adversaries, keen as they are to confront you once again. Put out their fire first, and show them the glory of the Night Wings. Now then, make ready for the right.
Yeah, so 70 against 30. That's the disadvantage that we opted to take. The winged exiles of the Essence take position opposite your own companions, and their leader soon asserts herself. Hamatha, come forth. No trickery this time. She appears as asked, and remains silent as her blood sister studies her for a time. Hamatha then reaches for her mask. You look weary, my sister. Oh, too little sleep, I guess. I do get rather anxious sometimes. On the night before one of these things, it can be a lot of pressure. Understandable. The two of them say nothing for a time. Cannot discern what they are thinking. The high-wing remnants all seem to be very mentally acute, trained as they are from birth. Soon enough, Hamatha cuts through the tension, her tone light as ever. So, given further thought to my proposal, then? I have. I'm not sure we know about this proposal. And I think that now is not the time for talk. Besides, your comrades there, surely you give them pause. Even now, they must be questioning your loyalty. Uh-oh. You trying to take her away from us? What? But I... Oh, cut it with the stammering, Pamela. It is very unbecoming, you know that. And you be sure to tell those comrades of yours what you propose to me. She dons her mask once more. As she rejoins the other exiles of the Essence, Tamitha hesitates before returning to your group. I told her she could take my place. That I would keep her up to date about our progress, and that she could take my place if ever it was time for me to go. But you don't have to worry. For one thing, she refused, and for another, well, I'd better tell you later. For now, remember, you can count on me.
The rite shall begin forthwith.
Okay. Let's take a look at the Essence for a second here. See what we're going up against. Tamitha is the leader, of course. While flying, she moves faster than usual. She is ashen cold. The start of the right, Bear's Pyre automatically gains... Gains 25 life, so we're going 70 to 125. That's even more of a discrepancy than I would have liked. Okay, if I had known that coming in, I might have not chosen to go this route. The other character you have helping you? Shakara, slightly different. I'm sure that happens a lot. Shakara moves faster than usual while flying. Okay, same deal. While carrying the orb, the bear moves faster than usual, an additional 10%. And then also, same deal here. I mean, their base quickness is actually not very high, interestingly. All deal 20, and they all have low hope, meaning that they take a long time to come back, except for Tamitha, sorry. Okay, so that would suggest that this is a good opportunity to try to attack them, get multiple of them to get banished, and then counter the way we usually would. And I think that this arena actually fares really well for this matchup because this is not a particularly difficult set of obstacles here. So I don't think it's a huge deal that we're dealing with a bunch of opponents that can fly. So I think quickness and ability to take enemies out easily is going to be key. So, for example, the ability to bounce our attack around would be useful, and Tay is relatively fast. Ruki is certainly very fast and has a bit of a bonus to his attack. Not super convinced about that one. And then I'm surprised to see that Tamitha does not have any inspiration, or, I mean, certainly we have this backstory. I'll pick, just give me a second here. So I think we definitely take, well, now I'm looking at inspiration real quick. Your inspiration is growing. Yeah, see, I'm about to take people who don't have inspiration, but I think we go for it anyway because we're choosing the challenge. And maybe, you know, by picking that Titan challenge, we're basically saying we're opting to choose that over potentially hamstringing us a little bit by picking a team that is not necessarily the best for this situation, but a team that has a lot of inspiration on it. Tay has some, and I think we'll use her. And then I am inclined to use you. Your talisman appears, at least, to be insanely good. So I think we do that.
It is done.
You still put faith in me then, reader darling? Even knowing I could slip free of your influence if I ever so choose? Then, I shall have to do my part as well. Face us, wastrels of the Commonwealth. The pain and loss of your defeat this night shall reverberate not only in your hollow hearts, but in the homeland that abandoned you. Are you quite sure it has to be this way then, sister? There is no compromise here, Panther. Not for traitors to my country or my blood. I understand, and so be it. Right. Let's get prepared. Take that. Too speedy. Oh, I forgot to fly for a minute there. Waiting for you to do that. Yep. No, you cut me off. Uh-oh. Bit of a trade there. Oh, and I missed. Uh-oh. We're starting at a pretty serious disadvantage, so we need to be very careful. Oh, and that was so stupid. No! Ah, this is going so badly. So badly to start. We have so little margin for error given the decisions that we made. You seem so distracted, Panther. Is there something more you wish to say to me? Words you feel that I am owed, perhaps? Panther stops at this and reaches for her mask. I am sorry for what I did to you, sister. For what you did to me, your apology rings as hollow as your plumage. You might rehearse it further on every last survivor of the High-Wing remnants. Now, no more talk.
Such hatred spewing constantly from Tamitha. Brilliantly done.
And Rookie is the answer here, but as soon as we lose him, we're in trouble. Okay, that's a little better. She did come back instantly. There we go.
The orb engulfed in fire. Tis taken.
Did it.
Deadly.
Still have a ways to go, though. That's just one. No! Cut me off.
So close.
Oh, you're flying, you're flying! Oh, I ran straight into that! That was silly of me. No, no!
Your flames
Uh-oh. One hit left. Oh, and I just absolutely blew that. And what? Okay, that I don't understand.
his own.
Ooh, that was big, but we still have one more we need.
No more than a lick of flame remains.
Oh! Oh my goodness, that was close.
Winds prevail.
Ooh, okay.
The scribe showed them a bit of favor in the end.
Let's be a little more careful next time.
The rite is ended.
You win, Blood Sister. I don't suppose that means you'll reconsider. You know that I cannot. You were always obstinate. But in that regard, and all others which count for anything, you are inferior to me. Remember that. What you offered is meaningless to me. I shall free myself without your help, or that of anyone. Now then, farewell. Wait, what of your comrades? The essence. You must need them, at least. Mincing my words, as ever, Tamitha. Know that I do love you, in a way. Is that what you wish to hear? But my purpose is plain, and you stand in its way. You are a fool to think my freedom is my goal. My freedom is a means toward an end, the likes of which you would never abide. Do you think that you could sway me from my purpose, Tamitha? Tamitha remained silent for some time. No. I think you will struggle to destroy the Commonwealth, no matter what it takes. No matter if, in doing so, you are destroyed instead. Just so. So then, you understand me after. Tamitha does not turn to watch her blood sister depart.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust.
That they do, I suppose. I didn't see if she got any bonus for going up against her sister there. I saw that she had 3 things that were boosting her score.
Until the next.
Her enlightenment, that is. Bridge of Gold is a celestial landmark pocked by ceremonial mounds that inhibit exiles something. Back at the wagon after prevailing over the essence in a last-ditch effort. Okay, that absolutely has to be in response to the score of that, because that was, in fact, super close. You are about to join the others discussing the outcome when Wolfred finds you. Good work back there, my boy. Though I'm afraid I must pull you away from any revelry. For there is something you should see. Please, join me outside. Look forth. The golden star reveals itself to us once more. Indeed, somewhere deep in the infinite dark, a single star shines brighter than the rest. The path to freedom reveals itself again. That is much quicker than the last time. Wow. Let's take a look at his planner real quick. So it seems as though every time we win, our probability of success goes up by about 3%. So that's what happened this time. Reappearance of the Titan stars is cause for some concern, though best ignore old superstitions and remain well focused on the task at hand. Once more are we to travel to the fall of Solium. May the 8 scribes watch over us. Yeah, I mean, these standings barely moved. Oh, okay, the essence did move down. Well down. I mean, they were tied for second before, and now they're all the way down here. As you can see, they fell. The chastity has gone up. But the dissidents have remained in place despite us having beaten them earlier. So I don't know what the deal is there. Alright, well, I mean, only one place to go from here, right? And yeah, I mean, this is the encounter I was trying to avoid. I was trying to face them early and lower them in the standings so that we wouldn't have to go against them in the freedom right. But it looks like we may have no other choice. So, the golden star burns bright over the fall of Solium. Parker is already on his way. Interact to challenge the dissidents here next. Prevail, and one among you shall be free. The dissidents are led by Barker Ashpaws. The record against them is 1-1. Ah! I didn't realize that it will show us a record like that. But yeah, notable, because he remains the only leader, the only group to have beaten us. The rites are calling you again to the fall of Solium, where one among you may go free, should you prevail. It is, as we discussed. The cycle of the rites is beginning to turn more quickly. Perhaps the scribes themselves have taken notice. Fortunately, having more frequent opportunities to free ourselves is not unwelcome to our plan. I suppose it's good for everyone, including the dissidents, who will oppose us next. I wish it wasn't them. Getting to Mount Alodio ought to be a little easier than before, at least. We should be able to make landing near some of the old monuments to the scribes. Let's set forth at dawn. Soon, everyone is off to rest, as best as they are able, knowing that another chance at liberty for one of them shall soon present itself. Alright. Wow. Yeah, I did not anticipate that we would have our next shot at freedom so soon. I mean, that was what, 2? I think that was 2 rights before we had our next, or we're about to have our next go. So maybe it won't be very long until we have, I mean, several people who could be looking to set free. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time when it looks like we might be sending someone else back to the Commonwealth.